All right, what's up there, SEO pros? Today we're here with Trevor, and we're going to be working on his website. We're going to look at some different strategies we can work on in terms of ranking his site higher by fixing technical issues, and then also we're probably going to be diving a little bit into local as well, right, Trevor?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is cool. I love working on sites that are already sort of things that I've spent a lot of time on. So you're in good hands on this one, opposed to a lot of the insurance audits that I've been doing. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know anything about insurance. Cool.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we're going to do, like usual, and you've probably seen these audits before, but if you haven't, what I do is I go in and I open up Screaming Frog, and then I also open up Zenu, which is checks links. So we'll just do file, check URL, press OK, and then same thing with Screaming Frog, except what we're going to do is we're going to integrate your analytics. So we'll go here, we're going to go here, we're going to connect, and this kind of just will let me see like the different things that are going on in terms of the bounce rates and
Okay.
all that good stuff. So we'll press OK there, and let me make sure that. Oh no, go ahead. I was just making sure that they could hear you.
I was going to say, so what we concentrated on a lot was local SEO. And now that we've established ourselves locally, what we really want to do is kind of branch out and go to the, one city over kind of thing and start showing up there as well. And as well, I mean, we've been working a lot on other sites that, as I was saying earlier, we've kind of neglected ours a tiny little bit. So this is kind of a course correction and a course update for us at the same time. So this is the student going back to school to learn a little bit.
Nice. Cool. Well, I can tell you right off the bat that I like the design. The only thing is that for the homepage, we probably want to add a little bit more text if possible.
Okay.
So I'm going to open up the notepad and start taking notes for you. Hold on.
Okay.
So number one is at least 300 words if you can. If not, even 100 words is better. I mean, you have some right here, but what that does is it gives us the ability to do those link silos to the other important pages. So, whoops, here. So I'm going to say on homepage and other pages that have under 300 words, we want to add as much as we can without it making it look bad, and at the same time doing link silos, also adding link silos to other important pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this into like a free SEO checker, and SEO Profiler is way better than this, but this kind of just gives me like a little bit of an overview on kind of what's going on. So we'll go into SEO Centro, and we'll just plug this in here and go 4377. And we'll bring those over there. Let me exit out of that. Cool. So I never look at this as something that's like a means to an end. I just completely ignore these scores. So web page title is a little bit longer than the 75 character limit. So for titles, we're going to look at more of like the actual everything that's going on with Screaming Frog, but just for the homepage, I like to look at specifically first. So yeah.
And how strict are they with that, Jace? There's a couple that I'm edging out at about 80 at about the 80 characters, and I'm thinking I'm just 5 characters over. Should I or should I take it a little bit more seriously than that and take those 5 characters off?
Well, you'll see that like they don't really even say it here, which is weird because you would think they would say it, but I mean I try not to push it unless I have to. You can get away with 80 characters or whatever, but you just really want to try to do as much as you can within what they're kind of going for. So if I go to site : this, you'll see they're cutting that off. And anytime they cut it off, you want to kind of fix that. If they show like all 80 characters, which I don't know if I've seen that. I know that they show like sometimes more, but if you see anything like this with the dot, you just want to make sure you get rid of that. So next we're going to go into here. This is kind of a cool thing with the checker. It shows you the actual relevancy of the content to the title tag, which is cool. Also one of those things that I don't really take too seriously. No meta keyword tag, which is great. Robots.txt files found, and then this is the Google preview as we just saw. And then you're using H1s, which is great. For the content, you can see that it's 157 like I was talking about. So we just want to make sure we up that. And then with the actual Social signal data, you could up this as well. So I don't know what you're using right now if you are doing any social, but I literally recommend this in all of my audits because it's one of those things that you can spend 2 hours on and have 60 social media posts scheduled for like 6 different platforms. So I would consider getting a. I should just copy and paste this because I always say this. I would consider getting a $10 buffer subscription and loading in. This is what I do with my company. Is I do either like tips from my blog posts, so then I can link to them from blog, or I'll do like I'll just take the reviews I have and I'll make those as posts, which is kind of cool. So then people just constantly see that I'm getting awesome reviews.
I like that idea.
And also just anything really around what you're talking about. So if it's just like information, like Buffer also has like an auto thing where it just shows you like the top social media posts for SEO or whatever keywords you're going for, and it'll just let you drag and drop those into your scheduler. So and any informational posts. And then when you're in there, what you can actually do is actually put in signups for your email newsletter or whatever you're doing, and that way you can start getting people funneled into like a group or whatever you want to do, and you can start generating reviews for your local business, which is what we're going to look at in a second, which will end up helping you rank higher locally. We haven't looked at that yet, but I'll go more into that in a second. So if we go to usability, we have, it's of course, it looks responsive, I believe. So reputation, we don't have to worry about that. And then the speed is something we're going to want to look at with a different tool. So other than that, not too bad. Let's go into the actual site again. So we'll go back over here. One of the things I did see is that, I don't know if it got removed or what, but there's no Fav icon. So I would put a Fav icon.
Yeah. It used to be, there is one there, so it must have been removed. So
yeah, I mean, that happens. And then, so what I also do is I'll cross-check this with mods just to see a couple of things. So URL still HTTP. I would really consider switching to SSL, especially since you can get free certificates now.
I know that GoDaddy is giving them out like chiclets, but I looked at getting them and the cost seemed to be around $90 or $100. I'm like, I don't want to spend $100 for an SSL certificate. So,
well, that's one of the things I want to look at right here. So I'm going to answer your question by looking at your actual page speed.
Sure.
And if you're using hosting that like is with GoDaddy or whatever you're using,
it's not. I don't know if I can say the name out loud or not, but
it's fine. Either way, I would consider it's a little bit more expensive, but it's what I'm on. And it's like amazing. It's called WP Engine. And literally you can switch over to it in like an hour. And they'll also give you with your hosting there a free SSL cert. So I would consider it. Also, I have a discount code, which also helps me out. So if you wanted to do that, I could, send that over to you. And then other than that, it looks like maybe some image compression. I don't know if you're using anything for that, but I would also consider buying, it's like a $30 plugin called Smusher. And it'll compress all of your images for you. Which is just going to help that load time. So if you did those two things, I'm pretty sure that this would go down to like a 2-second load time, which is going to overall help you rank higher. And then for the markup, let's see. So this is the homepage. Is it a organization or is it a local business?
Local web company.
Okay, cool. So one of the things you told me was that, look, you wanted to be able to rank this locally in not just the city that you're in, which is, looks like Bradford,
yeah.
But also in other cities around it. So what you can do is you can do local business markup on the homepage if this is specifically targeting that area, and then put local business markup on the sub pages, which will help you rank in those other cities. I'll tell you how that works in a second, but I would consider switching this organization markup to local business markup.
So the homepage local business markup.
Yes.
And then are you saying that in one of the silos, so we have web design as one of our services, then use a different, don't use the local business markup there, use a different markup for that for a different city?
Yeah, so how it works is you have your your main city on your homepage, right? So instead of, because you probably already have a bunch of citations and links around your area for this specific area. So you're not going to want to try to make a subpage and build all the new citations around that for this area. So what you want to do is you make this the local area that you're ranking for. And then on the sub pages, you basically target those other pages with the new citations, the new schema markup, which is around that area. So it looks like a different business, which it basically is. It's just, I mean, it's your same business, but it's just in a different area. But like I said, we'll get more into that in a second. You got the 2 call to actions, which is great. People kind of get those choices there, which is awesome. And the design looks great. So we're going to actually just look at some of the main pages. So the About Us.
Sure.
Nice to meet you. That's pretty cool. And then you got, of course, your text, which looks like a great amount of text, except, you know, just more missed link silo opportunities. But we already kind of dived into that. So really it's just taking the top pages that we want to rank for and make sure that we, you know, can link to those other pages. And I say like per page, 2 to 3 internal links, unless you have like 1,000+ words.
Okay.
Which is usually just like blog posts and stuff. Whoops. So for these other pages, also on the About page, we can do About schema markup. So I would say consider marking up About and Contact page. And if you don't know how to do that, it's not too hard. I could pretty much do it for you in like 30 minutes. Actually, probably less, like 15 minutes. You just have to, I can explain it to you more. We don't have to worry about it too much right now.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so all of this is great. You know, lots of text. It's really going to be helping us out. It's just not the interlinking that we want to see.
Okay.
And then the URLs look great. They're not too long. All of these images are, you know, this is pretty much how you want a site to look. And so we can pretty much understand what this is, you know, about based off all of the other pages that are very similar to this. We don't have to dive too deep into that.
Yeah, pretty much all the pages were based on the same thing. Here's where on that you just clicked on our blog page. With watching you, and I know that this is we're suffering a little bit on like blog pages. We weren't putting any title or metadata on it, and so I do have some pages that you will see in your screening from this being one of them. That there's no metadata or description, only because it was a blog page. I wasn't even thinking it until I started watching you discussed it, and I'm like, shoot, I'm missing out on a lot of meta information then. So
yeah, so before I start telling you how much you need this stuff, I'll just kind of hold back on that one. So for the organization and website markup, we just, for some reason, the organization markup is on every page.
That's another thing you've taught me. And again, this is circa SEO from 2 years ago, where it was put it in the head of your website, and so we did the organization markup and put it in the head, so it's the same throughout. And I know that that's one thing that you're going to slap my hands on, because it's the same thing, as opposed to taking advantage of using different markup on every page.
Right. And that's fine. I mean, it's just basic stuff. So, so the other thing is that in this blog, you can add some some text right here, kind of explaining. So, like, instead of doing this, which might be helpful, I don't know, kind of an interesting way to do this, especially with these URLs. I don't know. We're gonna have to look at how that's actually getting indexed, but you can actually put your preview text for the blog and point to your best content, which is really just going to help that rank higher. So I would put text preview on blog with links to most important posts. And you don't have to do it. It's just something that, you know, you can do, which will help. And then on these actual posts, you know, you're doing like a quick text preview, which is great. You don't want to be indexing all of that. What I actually do want to do is look at whether or not those other pages were getting indexed. So the paginated pages are getting indexed, which is fine. As long as there's the rel next and rel prev tags, which basically just tell Google that it's all related to the one main page. Let's just make sure those are there. We'll just type in rel. And if you have Yoast, it pretty much does it for you, I think. So I don't see the rel next and rel prev. So we just want to make sure there's page next. And that's just a setting you can turn on in Yoast, I think. So turn on.
And we are using Yoast, yes.
Yeah. So if you go into Yoast, I'm pretty sure if, it says there's a setting. I don't remember which part it is in, but it lets you turn on rel next and rel prev, and that way you don't show up for because right now this is probably gonna be hit with duplicate content because those tags aren't in there. Also, let's go back into here. So we got this. I don't know why search is showing. I guess that might be a different. Let's see. Interesting, because that's picking up. This is showing as search, but the post is named blog, so, or the title. So I'm wondering what's going on with these. I think it's because the rel next and rel prev aren't in here, which basically relates all of these to one page. Also, you'll see that the different categories are being indexed, but I don't really understand what's going on with these categories in terms of the actual. It's like PHP, right, or something. The URL is just not really the actual category. It's just a bunch of like
random code there almost.
Yeah, so I would consider, and you can change this in your WordPress settings, I think. If you get Yoast Pro, I think it'll redirect all of them for you. It might be worth it instead of needing to do it all manually, unless you don't mind. It might not. You might just use something like EPS redirects. But either way, on categories, I would consider changing URL structure to name category.
Okay.
And then also, let's see if these are even, yeah, they're being indexed, right? Let me just go into here. Whoops. Yeah, so they're being indexed. Okay, so next we're going to go into here. So also with the categories too, just another opportunity to do, text with silos. So, even if you do 100 words, it's still better than nothing.
And again, that's one of the things that I know that when structuring this, building the site a year and a half ago, that was not even a forethought in the structure. So I know that it's not on any of the categories.
Right. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to end up taking those pages and passing PageRank to the other important pages. And then you can take those pages and pass that juice to like your home page and help rank higher in your local area, which is what I did with, I actually did a case study on this. I think it was like 2 months ago, and I wound up doing like 30 or 40 different pages of link siloing to like the home page on a local moving company. And now they're ranking like number 2, which is great. Actually, they're on the first page, but I don't remember what the actual different variations. It doesn't matter. Either way. So let's get out of there. Other than that, for the actual things that are being indexed, let's just see. Go back. So boom, boom, boom. So there's a quick way we can see whether or not certain things are being indexed. So first of all, we want to see if the author page is getting indexed, which it is. So I would remove, no index author pages, and that's another setting in Yoast that you can just switch off.
Okay.
And then for the, let's make sure there's no tags. So I don't see, there's a subdomain connected to this.
Well, because when we build new sites, we have subdomains, and then we turn them, off when they're being built. But we normally put we realize they're being categorized, so we usually put the robot txt. We make sure that that's turned off. But sometimes when we start building, we forget to turn it off. So that they get indexed, and then eventually they leave.
Yeah. So no index old subdomains, and then I think the tags are only being used for those subdomains. I don't know if they're being used for the main domain. I don't think so. But if so, I would just double check in Yoast and make sure tags aren't being used unless you really know how to do like tags. But in most cases, using just categories is fine. And then also we just want to make sure that certain dates aren't showing up. So we can just go like that, and it doesn't look like we're using dates. So I would just also make sure dates aren't being indexed. Okay, cool. So other than that, in terms of what's being indexed, we don't have to look at that. We're going to start looking at some of the more surface level things or main overview. Oh, did I not run this?
Okay.
I thought I ran this. Oh, there it is.
Premium frog?
Oh, sorry. I guess I must have not ran it. Oh, okay. I set up the APIs, but I didn't actually run it. Sorry. Boom. Okay, we're gonna have to wait a second for that. The other thing we're gonna look at is the incoming links. So let's just go like this, and I really do need to look at a better link checker because this one I had a subscription for, but then I ran out.
You were talking about this before. So circa 2 years ago and back, all web builders would use the footer of all the websites they build and say, hey, site done by our company, it gets us free juice. But I think I heard either yourself or Josh chatting about it to say, hey, web developers, start taking your name out of the footers because it looks spammy. What's your thoughts on that?
You can get away with it as long as you put no follow links on them.
Okay. Can you throw that up as a note just so that we'll make sure about
that? Make sure no follow links in footer, and you might take a small hit for this in terms of your rankings, but overall this might end up getting picked up from Google and just like totally deranking you. So it's worth it to not have the 92,000 links incoming. And
those are all legitimate links.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Even if you just did a no follow link or an actual follow link on the homepage and then a no follow links on the other ones. But even then, I don't know if you want to do that. Let's look at
you know what I was thinking. I was wondering, pondering this the other day. Should we? And thinking about that. Should we put the follow link on the homepage or the follow link on the most popular page if it's not the homepage of said websites?
Well, the only thing I'm actually worried about is, hold on, I need to drink water. The only thing I'm actually worried about is the links coming in not looking like they're relevant to your industry.
Got it.
Because the short-term value is that you get page rank, which is great, but the long-term value is that you end up getting like a bunch of different diverse links, and Google doesn't really understand what niche you should be ranked in.
You're right.
So I don't know. I would say if there are very relevant to you, so like if you did web design for another web design or I don't know, something like around tech or something like that, I would say in that case, I would probably keep it. But in most cases, like flower shops or something, I would try not to get a link from that.
Or dance studios, which we've done.
Right. But in most cases, don't get links from dance studios.
I'll know what that means.
But like I said, it might help you in the short term, but in the long run, you'll be happy that that's not going on. And then even if you do like get links from like dance studios and you're putting it in your footer, that's fine. Just make sure it's no follow. At least that's what I've heard from John Mueller himself. Wasn't in the Google Hangout, but I watched it either way. Okay, so what we've done, contact looks good. Oh, there it is. So that's a little confusing. I don't know. I mean, the web design's great, but I don't know. I mean, it seems like a little hard. I might consider putting the contact form up higher.
Okay.
I mean, that's just more of just like what I'm thinking, but you know, you can always A/B test this too if you wanted to use something like Instapage and see if like just putting a contact form right away might get you more conversions.
Okay.
So I'd say maybe consider A/B test contact page with form higher. 26. Okay, so now we can go into Screaming Frogs. Let's go in here. All right, so we'll go to HTML. And then, like you were saying, with some of the meta descriptions, some of them are, not actually there. And then there's a lot of these pages that are like the concatenated pages, which I don't think would look bad if it was actually the correct. Well, that's weird because normally when I do this, I don't actually get these picked up. Like it doesn't actually crawl these. I don't know why it's. Oh, also the blog pages are concatenated with the category pages. So
I see that.
So these might be showing up with the exact same content as the category pages. I don't know. Oh, no, that just redirects. Okay. That's so weird. Okay, so I guess those are actual pages on the site, but they're just being 301'd. Yeah, I would really try to figure out how to get away from this and kind of just go into the category pages, because in most cases, I think what's happening is that because of the way this is working, it's setting these up as actual pages in the site, where in most cases, I don't think that actually happens when you just use the category. I don't know how this is working, but when you just use the category pages like I done it, in most scenarios, you don't get these actually being crawled by any sort of crawler.
Okay.
So I'd look at that. It might just be changing the WordPress settings. Okay, so let's go over. I wonder do you know why you're using all these NODP tags also?
Yeah, we did have when we switched over our site, I think we had about 400 pages on that site, and then we condensed it down to the top 100. So I think we used the NODP on pages that we wanted to, and I'm the marketing sales guy, so
right.
I think it was for the pages that we wanted Google to not index and not for 301 redirect, if I'm right in that explanation.
Wouldn't it be though that you would just want to do no index tags? Let me double check this, but hold on. This has to do with directories.
Okay.
So this has to do with correlating with DMOZ, not wanting it to show up in DMOZ, or actually have a DMOZ description. It's kind of one of these weird tags.
Oh, you know what? And that could have been again, circa 2 years ago when they said, hey, you know what? Throw this code on so that it's not being pulled by all these nefarious directories anymore. So I think that's why we threw that on there.
Well, I actually think that's the default for most sites. It might even be on my site still. I just don't know why some of these are capitalized and some aren't. I think that kind of is what threw me off. I don't think you're actually going to get hurt from this. And also DMOZ is actually they're getting rid of DMOZ now. The whole company's going down. So I don't know what the long-term value of that is, but I might be getting rid of it in the near future. Just something that I kind of... Anyways, with the title tags, titles on these pages, consider making under 75, like we talked about before, under 75 characters. What do your conversions look like right now? Are you getting a lot?
I mean, I saw you on the when you were talking to the guy from New Jersey. We get 6-8 good solid clients per month that come in, and that keeps us very busy.
Right.
So so we're doing all right that way. And when I say to people, hey, how did you find us? Everyone says the same thing, through Google. They'll call in. I ask every single time how did you find, and then I joke and say, see, that thing does work. And what they end up saying is, we found you on Google, we looked at every single site that was showing up in Google, and we really loved how yours looked. So that's why we called you. So I know that our conversions are high because people look at our site and they go, we love the site. They don't realize that we worked on it for 6 months to get it to where it was, right, to look like that. Yeah. But the conversion of people looking at our site and finding us through Google search, it's high enough to keep us busy. Like, we're very busy, which is why I know we tried to connect earlier today and we were both just jam-packed. So it's 10:30 or 11 o'clock my time right now, and I finally have time to get on the horn with you. So
yeah, no, I totally.
But we will take more. I don't want to make it sound like we have way too much business and we won't take more. We will certainly take more, which is why I'm talking to you.
Right, totally. Yeah. So so web design is actually a really good keyword to rank for, even if you're doing SEO, because you can actually sell SEO and web design together. Like, you can white label the web design and then, sell the SEO with it. I'm not saying, white label to anybody. Like, of course you guys are probably going to be way better than most people you'd white label to. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't know why I'm saying that. But either way, it's a good industry to be in because there's a lot of conversions that come through web design and not as much that go through SEO in terms of local. So there's some duplicate heading tags that I'd probably get rid of. I would list all these, but a lot of them have to do with those extra pages being indexed. So I'm not going to list all them because a lot of them are just going to be irrelevant. So you can, once you get those other pages no indexed, or fixed with the categories, then I would rerun Screaming Frog or something and get rid of the duplicate heading tags and whatever other duplicates there are. After, so this is something that you really want to do after you fix the architecture. If you do that beforehand, you're going to end up spending a lot of time on fixing those things, only to realize that they're going to get no indexed. So the status codes, let's check these out. Well, we're going to look at those on Xenu in a second. So no meta keywords, as we already saw. H2s we don't have to really look at. And for the canonicals, this is not good. So all of the canonicals are pointing back to the home page, which basically is showing Google all of these pages are about this one page. So you want to make sure that all the canonicals are pointing back to their own pages, unless these are all duplicate pages that you don't want to rank. But make sure canonical tags are pointing to themselves, to their own, I don't know how to say it, to their own pages. Unless it's duplicate content, then it's great, because then you don't want to be showing up for the same, or trying to get Google to index the exact same content on every page. And then the word counts or the response times we can look at, go in there. So actually very low. So that just pretty much screams to me that that has to do with mainly the server and probably the image compression. And then the text counts on these pages all look pretty high. Let's look at the so all of these ones that are 0, which are those same pages, so we can't really.
Yeah, it's all the category page and duplicate pages.
Yeah, so we already know about that, so we don't have to look at that too much. Let's see. We'll look at the Google Analytics in a second. Let's check out the images. So let's go into. Oh gosh, I always forget where this tab is. It's somewhere around. Oh gosh, somewhere around here. There it is. Okay, cool. So 149. Well, we don't know. Hold on. We don't know if this is because. I don't know if these are the actual images. Because there's these. But some of these I think are.
Yeah.
So I would just say. See, this is one of those harder things because some of these are have to do with like gravity forms and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would look at more of like the main images, especially the ones you can tell that are probably the ones that are actually legit with the ones with the in links. Like this avatar, I'm pretty sure is actually an actual image that's showing up on the website. But either way, add alt tags to all images. On main pages. You don't have to add alt tags to the ones that aren't showing up because I think this also crawls the ones that maybe aren't even on the site. And then also with the file URLs, I don't know how helpful these are, and this might not be something you want to change because it takes a while, but you might want to consider, and I don't even want to say this because it's so time intensive with not really that big of a result, but if you have the time to do this, you might want to consider changing the file URLs to describe what the images are.
Okay.
But then again, that's only like a 1% boost, I think. So I probably would not do that unless you really have a lot of time.
I'll put that as number 37 on the list of things to do instead of 31. So.
Yeah, I'm going to make a top 10 list, and that's definitely not going to be in it. Okay, cool. So other than that, we can look at the actual analytics, which we got the different bounce rates that we can look at. So if we look at the Google Analytics bounce rate over here, and bring it over, we're going to filter by least to most. So why is it not filtering? There we go. So I don't think this is correct, but it's saying a lot of these pages have 100% bounce rates. Oh, actually, sorry. This is only the pages on your site that have more than 100% or more than a 70% bounce rate. So that means all of your other pages have below, which is great. But on some of these pages, there's 100% bounce rate, like these. And all these other pages are those categories, so we don't have to worry about it as much. So I would say try to see what can be improved for user experience on by lowering. And honestly, just by putting some sort of silo in there, with call to actions going to your contact page or whatever it is, or even a button, might lower your bounce rates on these, which is also going to end up giving you more conversions. And then also we can see that there's no conversion tracking enabled, so that would be huge for us too. So enable conversion tracking. And then I don't want to stay too much on this stuff besides the stuff we've already found, because there's a lot of stuff we have to look at in terms of local.
Right.
One thing I do want to look at though is the actual links from Zenu, which I thought it's somewhere around, is this it? Yeah, I think that's it. Cool. So there's some 404 links on some of these pages. So just want to clean up those. Honestly, I'm not even going to copy those because you can just download Broken Link Checker. And it'll just do it all for you and fix all broken links. And 301s, just make sure that you're not linking to the redirected pages, but the actual pages. And it fixes it all for you, which is really fast. So I can keep diving into this, and usually what I do on like national websites or whatever, I'll go in here and see what we can do in terms of like optimizing for the top 10 keywords. But there's some better things we can do instead of looking at that right now. So what we're going to do, so it looks like you're getting a lot for your brand, which is great. And these are your other keywords that you're getting. Well, let's filter by 90 days. These are the other keywords you're getting clicks for, which is cool. You got how to make a commercial on iPhone. That's pretty.
That was after Maroon 5 did their commercial, and then we did, and then there was a car company that both made it look like they were doing these fast commercials on iPhones, and so we all the time on that.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, just by doing something that like probably nobody else thought of, you wound up getting, you know, a cool little article, which we can use for those content upgrades, start funneling people into a group or into an email newsletter. And then also right here, look, you're at number 24 for graphic design company. So I would really consider trying to drive some more content around that, because you could definitely be getting a lot of clicks. I mean, you're showing up in the last 90 days 1,800 times for that, with a 32% click-through rate. Or 0.32% click-through rate, which means if you just did some optimizations around whatever titles are on this graphic design page, you could improve your click-throughs and start probably getting, like, top graphic design company, you could actually probably make that a little bit more unique and end up getting more clicks for that and probably customers from it. So that just has to do with the top 10 optimization stuff. Like, well, not the top 10 I was telling you about, but you know, look at rankings in search.
Well, I'll say that's a lot more searches for graphic design that I thought were even out there. So that, and we've ignored that a little bit. So
yeah. Okay, so next thing is we're gonna actually go and see what this looks like in terms of what you're showing up for or not. There we go. So smashing pixels. There you are. Nice picture. And then we got one Google, that is you, right? That is you, yeah. One Google review, and then of course your URLs, your social, which is great, you're showing up for that, and then your RS service area, which is not a bad thing, especially with the new Google Possum update, which makes it easier to rank. So you'll see graphic designer in Brantford. I would maybe consider going for, well, do you do more graphic design or more web design?
More web design.
Yeah, so the thing is that the conversion rate for, the search rate for graphic design is probably a lot lower in this area than people looking for web design. And you'll see that actually shows up with the
your three pack there.
With the 3-pack, and you are ranking. Look at that, you're ranking number 1 for that. Well, maybe this is biased. Let's just double check that before I go crazy.
Yeah, throw that in incognito. So.
No, yeah, you definitely are. So that's something where it's like, dude, you're already ranking for that. Google trusts you as that. like, I would, as soon as you can, switch that over to web design, and you're going to start pulling in tons of traffic from ranking. I mean, you're already getting traffic from this, I'm sure, but I would honestly change that over. So that would be my opinion. We could actually go on your Google My Business listing and see how many hits you're getting, but I could pretty much tell you that you're probably going to get a lot more for that.
So change our Google Google Business listing to web design, or Google My Business listing. Okay.
I would. And then if we go into your back to your website, Smashing Pixels. And then, sorry, we actually go here and we go to Google Plus.
And I did, really quickly on that page, you would have seen that we not too many Google reviews, but 9 Facebook reviews. So Google must be pulling the reviews from Facebook, because you'll see the stars in there. And I'm hoping that Google's realizing that not everybody wants to give a Google review, but a Facebook review carries weight as well.
Yeah, definitely. The Facebook reviews actually help you rank too now. I'm not seeing it in Google Plus. Either way, you want to make sure to, if you can, do like at least 12 photos in your Google My Business. If you can take a picture of just like the city or like the area that you're around, it'll help too. Yeah, go
ahead. I watched you do the one for the computer place at the street views from Google, and I go, I never really realized, I didn't realize that naming the images inside and outside and on street actually carried any weight until I watched you do it, and I go, that's pretty smart, and I'm totally still in that.
Yeah, so you'll see, look, from just that, and I didn't do any review generation or citations or anything, just from a simple experiment, I got number 5 locally in a location that's not even real. Just with those street view pictures. So it's really important to have that. And then what I actually do on my own location, like on Chase Reiner, is I'll just take all of the video thumbnails I do and I just plug them in there, because it's just more stuff for Google to show and give me more trust. So even if you just took all of the website examples you have and put them in there, not only will it help people see like what you have, but it'll also help you rank higher. So I would consider that like just taking, your work, because that's actually a section in Google that says photos at work.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so.
And what can you speak really quickly on the Google 360? Is it carrying more juice than it used to on the 360 photos the camera?
I think it's about the same. I don't know if it's worth the investment unless you're like a company that, is getting tons of foot traffic, like a restaurant or something, or I don't know. I mean, it might be helpful, but I would focus more on grabbing this link right here, which I'm going to get for you. And then I do this a certain way where I actually get people to leave me reviews from the Facebook group I have. So I funnel them with all my blogging and all of my stuff through a through a newsletter. But at the same time, I can add their email to my Facebook group, which will then add them to the Facebook group. It'll send them an invite, and most people say yes. And you can use those people who already are fans of your work to leave you reviews. And that's kind of a way to start getting tons of reviews, which is like a huge ranking boost. And you'll see even the people in your area, they only have like 4 reviews. Why is this not showing up? Smashing Pixels. Gosh darn it. How do I spell it? Smashing Pix.
Pixels.
All right,
Inc.
Oh, maybe Inc. No. Hold on. What does it say here? Smashing. Oh, there it is. Let's try this. Oh, you know what? It might be because it's a service area. So what we got to do is just go in here. Just grab. I think it's like should be like a share button or something. I right click it. Oh, I think I can just take this. Let's grab that. Maybe. I think we got it. Let's just double check. Boom. So then it just pops up with the automatic 5 stars.
Okay.
So what you do is, I mean, there's other situations that I'm not going to specifically say, but I have been able to get a lot of reviews from people who think highly of me in certain areas. And I'm not going to say the actual business names, but so that's something you can do as well, where if people just want to leave a review, say, you know, this is, you know, a good guy, I would trust him and all that good stuff. You can do that. I don't know if that's specifically something Google says you shouldn't do, but I know with Yelp you're not supposed to do that. But with Google, I think they're a little bit more lenient.
Well, it's almost impossible to try to find, hey, where's the link that I got to share to people? So I end up having to send a screen capped picture with a big arrow that I get, a big arrow to the button that says, click here to leave me a review. And I'm like, this is such a pain. Why hasn't Google added just an easy button that says, here, click on here to leave it? So
yeah, so that's what's so crazy is like when I found this tool and I started trying it out, I'm not kidding you. I've used this on probably 4 or 5 different businesses, and all of them have like 40 plus reviews right now, because you can actually open this on your cell phone, like through Facebook Messenger or something, and it pops up with an auto 5 stars, and they just have to press yes. So you can literally start generating 3 to 4 reviews a day. I would try not to generate more than that, but I would try to outreach to 10 or 12 people a day, ask them for reviews, and then when they leave them, just make sure to respond to the reviews, because that gives you a little ranking boost as well.
So you don't want me to go out tomorrow and on the 1,000 people on my Facebook get 300 reviews?
Oh no, yeah. If you did that, I would yeah, that would be bad.
Okay.
And then other than that, we're just gonna check 2 things. We're gonna check Moz Local and Whitespark, and then I'm probably just gonna give you the top 10 things you should do, because that's pretty good.
Hey, can you really talk to me quickly about I tried to add in the SSO Pro and it was conflicting with my Yoast.
Yeah, so there's just some advanced settings in there that you have to disable. I could probably help you with that.
Okay.
If you wanted me to help you, it would only take me probably like a couple minutes. Where the heck is the zip code? Do you know the zip code?
Well, we have postal codes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so can I put that in here,
or? Postal code N3R7T1.
731?
No, there's a N3R.
Oh, sorry.
7T1.
Yay. Is that it?
Yep.
Cool. So 37%. It's probably not picking up certain things because they're inconsistent. You'll see these actually say Smashing Pixels. This one says Smashing Pixels Inc. So. Oh
yeah. We spent. That's something that you don't hear too many people talking about. That
NAP consistency.
We had 10 guys in the office just go gangbusters and nuts, and some people put street, STREET. Some people put ST. Some people put suite as in SUITE 301. Some people put STE as in suite 301. And next thing you know, we had 100 listings or 150 listings. A year later, we realized, hold on, there's no consistency, and it took us months to fix them and it was such a pain in the neck. So consistency is massive.
And if you get a $80 Moz Local subscription, they'll clean them up for you. So you might want to consider that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing is in Whitespark, which I just need to sign in really quick. And then we go to Citation Finder, and then we type in those keywords, which was something around web design. We'll go like this. What's
Canada?
This is always so awkward for me, dude, because I literally have like no education other than SEO. So when people ask me to do their citations and stuff, and I have to do this live, most of the time I have no idea where these certain places are in like certain states and stuff. So I'm just like sitting there like, okay, what the heck? It's crazy, dude. Like I honestly, dude, you have to realize that I literally never went to school, like ever. I never went to school. Like I dropped out in high school. I got my GED, and then I just started studying computer stuff. Okay. Okay, so these are all the different websites. You'll see your number 10 on the maps, and they all have very low amounts of citations. So I would consider getting probably around $65 worth of citations. And I have this guy who does like really legit citations. He does like generic. So this is different than link building. Link building is paying for links. Citation building is having somebody go out and make sure that your business info is listed, like your name, address, and phone number on like sites that are relevant to your industry. So
okay.
I would consider you getting that done. And then other than that, besides the reviews, the pictures, some of the on-page, and then the social media automation, I mean, just by doing that stuff alone is really going to help. So I think I'm ready to create the top 10 if you're happy with that.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to do a side-by-side so we can make sure we're looking at everything. Bring up another notepad. Cool. So first thing I always say is fix on-page basics. Just like the title. Well, actually, this isn't first. First is getting rid of those pages we were looking at, the pages that have tons of, I don't even know how to explain it. Switch the pages that are in PHP or something. I don't know if it's PHP, but switch them to categories or correct file URLs. And assuming that makes all of those errors go away, fix on-page basics like title tags being too long or short, or meta descriptions missing, etc. Just all this stuff I listed in there, you kind of already saw it.
Yep.
Fix the broken links that you have with the whatever it was. Gosh, what was the name of that? It was a broken link checker. Get conversion tracking going, and then also I would consider doing rank tracking, so you can see if any of this stuff is helping you. Tracking and rank tracking going. There's free rank tracking software out there. Oh wait, I think you use SEO Pro, so you already know.
Okay.
No index, silly page. What would it be? No index. The unnecessary. I don't know how to spell unnecessary. How do you spell it? U-N-E. No index pages that aren't providing value.
Yes.
Like like author, tag pages, etc. Oh yeah. Also add the rel next and prev tags. That's huge. And then get Moz local and citations set up. Start heavily driving reviews, 3 to 4 a day. And then I would consider page speed optimization by switching hosting and picking up Smusher. And then the last thing would be getting the Google My Business optimized with photos and well, that's pretty much it. Other than that, there's like all that other stuff we saw, which should be fixed at some point. But if you did those top 10 things first,
Okay.
you'd see a dramatic increase, hopefully, in. Oh yeah, also no indexing those subdomains. I'm going to put that with that other one, no index pages. Well, that has to do with the no index pages that aren't providing value and subdomain. But all this other stuff, it's like a lot of this stuff is going to take a lot of time. And these are kind of the easiest things you can start doing that will give you a dramatic improvement in your overall rankings. Also optimize with photos and correct category.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, man. So what do you think? I think that's pretty much.
I think you gave me some work to do and some marching orders.
Well, you asked for it, man.
Yeah, I did. Hey, can you quickly just talk about, just so that I understand, Two things. One is about the siloing, and the other one is about the schema.org on the service pages for additional, say, cities. So let's just say the neighboring city is Hamilton. We have the schema.org only set up for local, for the home pages we talked about, and then I would go into things we do, because we're already ranking locally for web here. Then would I go onto our web page in the schema.org, I would do locally, and instead of saying for Brantford, I would then use Hamilton as the city to start building hopefully some juice towards Hamilton.
So this is how you want to do this is how you want to do it. So your home page is going to be like this. You're going to have your home page with the schema markup, local schema markup for your city. So if we go to structured data testing tool, and I tried doing this a long time ago, which I was actually getting rankings, but I wound up getting all these people, these leads that I had to end up dealing with the people, and I didn't want to deal with them. But you'll see, I have an error here, which don't mind that. They added a new value you can put in price range. They didn't have that before. But this is for my city, so Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And then if I go into here, into this page, I don't have anything about the other cities. Not a big deal. But if I go to my menu and I go to like something like San Luis, like you saw before, this is going to be a completely different entity. So the Google My Business listing over there is pointing to this page. The citations are built around this page. The any sort of link silos I might be doing around this page, I would probably make like another drop down for the services for that as well, or not even include it, but at least put it in here somewhere with links going to it. And then the schema mark.
And when I was watching you do this,
I was just going to say, and the schema markup is now around this new entity, which is, I actually made this professional service instead, which was a different type I was experimenting with, but it has everything to do with that other URL or that other location I set up for San Luis, and nothing to do with the Santa Barbara location in terms of the schema.
And there's no, because it's a computer service repeated over and over again, do you have duplicate content, or you're switching your content slightly on every page?
No, every page is unique content. You want to make sure that that you make every page unique. So I did an experiment with this. I'm ranking for a SEO keyword that has like 2,000 monthly searches for Maryland search engine. I'm not even close to this place, but I ranked #1 with it for it. And you'll see all of this has to do with it being really unique to the area. And I just did this as an experiment. But basically what you do for this is you just make sure that, if you're going to be talking about maybe a different city or whatever it is, that you're, explaining different things about that area. So, bordering Virginia, West Virginia and Washington, Maryland holds a special meaning to us. Maryland is thought to be the birthplace. You don't have to get like that, but just by doing basic on page for those different cities and making sure they're separate will help you rank in those other areas. And then what you're really going to want to be driving at first too is just the Google My Business locations in those areas, because that's one of those things where you can win a lot faster at that than you can organically. So like a good example of that is the San Luis Obispo ranking I have. I mean, I'm #5 for that, and I barely did any on page, and most of it just had to do with trying to get the Google My Business optimized. I don't know where it went, but it was there a second ago. You said
okay.
But yeah, so
okay.
So I'll send this over to you, and let me know if you need help with any of it. If any of it's like, like for instance, you were saying you wanted help with the SSO or whatever. And I can help you out. I'm pretty stacked right now, but I could probably help you. What's that?
I was going to say, can you connect me with your citations guy, or do I just go through you for the citation? Okay.
I'll send that over to you. The reason why I don't say it publicly is because I don't want to, blow him up. So I'll send that over to you with this, and like I said, just let me know if you need help with this stuff, and I can probably help you within I'm trying to hire another SEO person to help me right now because I have a lot of people who want help, but just let me know.
I will. Maybe I'll be joining that monthly group chat, and
oh yeah, you should,
going
man.
that way. But we're going to try next week to fix this. We're going to go next week to try and fix all of this stuff and to see what we can do and what we can't do, and then jump in on the group, and then from there. I might be reaching back to you. Maybe not with this. I mean, there's another 20 other sites that we're working on, so
Yeah.
we'll definitely be talking a lot more.
Cool, man. Yeah, and if you ever need anybody to help with those sites in terms of SEO audits or whatever, just let me know.
For sure, absolutely. I love this.
Cool. Well, thanks for hitting
Awesome.
me
I'll
up,
watch
man.
Perfect. I'll watch for the email. Thanks a lot, Chase.
All right. Bye.
Take care.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. That's pretty much it for today. Dude, I have so much work right now. I'm gonna send these audits over. I still have to send the other audit over too. I will see you guys in the near future, and until then, happy SEOing.